welcome back to my channel, unless of course you're new here, in which case, hi, hello, my name is Ashley, and welcome to my random little corner of the internet. As you can tell from the title, today I will be doing my April OWLs TBR, and yes, I'm holding a wand, and yes, I'm going to fidget with it, so I'm just going to put that down there. So, the OWLs stands for Ordinary Wizarding Level in the Harry Potter universe, and G over at Book Roast has done a read-along that has to do with the OWLs, and apparently this is the third year that she's done it, and this is the first year I've heard of it, so I am super grateful to Brittany over at Brittany the Bibliophile for doing her video on this so that I could find out about it, because it's awesome, because what better way to read a bunch of books that somehow tie in your love for Harry Potter than when you're all stuck at home and you can't do anything else. So, down below I am going to link the video, the introduction video from G, because she pretty much goes a lot more in depth into what happens and everything else, and it has all the links to anything else I'm going to talk about as far as like printouts and things go. But I'm going to get started. So, the first thing you do to figure out like what you're going to read and everything like that is going to be picking your magical career. And let's face it, if I were to go to Hogwarts and then I were to graduate Hogwarts, I wouldn't want to leave. So I would be a Hogwarts professor. And I think the most fun thing to do would be to be an astronomy professor. And I know that sounds kind of weird because it's the only class that's at Hogwarts that also has a Muggle equivalent. But oh well. So, she has these really awesome little printout things that have to do with your wizarding careers and everything like that. But I didn't have enough ink to be able to print out the entire pamphlet, so I just printed out the one that was most had to do most with me. So I did print out the Hogwarts Professor, and it obviously has your title. Here it has everything, you know, a nice little story about what your career is. And then over here in this little spot right here, it tells me that I have to take, or I must pass 7 OWLs in total, and one of those has to be Defense Against the Dark Arts. It doesn't matter what subject you're going to teach, it has to be Defense Against the Dark Arts. And then it says the subject in which you wish to teach, and for me that will be astronomy. And then the other one says 5 additional subjects of your choice. So, I mean, that's also, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because, I mean, it gives you less structure, but some people don't like that. So anyways, and then, on top of your actual career, she has these seminars that you can take, and the one that drew my attention, so like I said, this is the third year that she has done this, and so therefore, everything that she's doing as far as like Twitters and other things besides the actual reading stuff, everything that's on Twitter and her fun trivia things and things like that have to do with Prisoner of Azkaban. And, you know, what do we learn about in Prisoner of Azkaban but anime guy? I mean, how cool is it to just be able to turn into an animal at will? So, the seminar that I will be taking is Anime Guide, or Animagus Training. And to do that, the OWLs you have to do are Arithmancy, Potion, and Transfiguration. So, a smart person would include those in the 5 additional subjects of your choice. I am not that smart person. Ravenclaw maybe, but, you know. And so, however, those 3 subjects are going to be like if I finish the other 7, because I've never read 10 books in 1 month in my life, ever. Even when I read a whole bunch, I never read 10 books in my life. I mean, in a month in my life. So, to get me started, some of these books that I'm going to list off are on their way to me. I placed an order. I'm really hoping they get here by in the next week or so. Otherwise, this whole video is moot, and I'm not going to pass my OWLs, and I won't ever be a professor. So, the first book is one of those, since I have to take Defense Against the Dark Arts. And I forgot to mention, she does have a list of all of the subjects that you have to take, and then the prompts, which is what the book has to be about that you're going to read. Mine is already written on, scribbled all over the classes I'm going to take. It looks like a real class schedule. I mean, I've scribbled all over it what classes I need to take, what books I'm going to read, things like that. So, the prompt for Defense Against the Dark Arts says Grindylows, a book set at the sea or coast. So this, like I said, is a book that's on her way to me, and it's The Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. I haven't heard much about it, but I like that the marketing tagline was Wicked meets The Little Mermaid. I mean, that sounds awesome to me. And from what little that I have heard, it's kind of like it's a background story of Ursula, I guess, basically. I don't know. We'll see. So that meets my requirements for Defense Against Dark Arts. And then, obviously, it says the subject in which you wish to teach, and that is astronomy. So the prompt for astronomy is night classes. Read majority of this book when it is dark outside. So this book doesn't have to be a specific book or even a specific subject or anything like that. You just have to read it at night. And so this actually fits really well for me because my husband and I have started reading a book together. Like, we'll take turns reading it out loud to each other. And we only do that when he's home, and that's at night after he gets off work. And that is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. He says that this is his favorite book, this is his favorite series ever, so he wanted me to read it. I do own all 6 of these, plus I also bought the Immortal Instruments series, so I've never read them. I'm super excited to. We are a little bit into it. We started reading it a couple weeks ago, within April, I promise. We did read them within April. Because that is part of the rule, is that you have to read them within April, so you couldn't have started a book like back in March and be like, I'm including that in my list. That doesn't count. That's cheating. So, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare is my astronomy subject. So then, the next 5 are ones that I chose, and to be honest, I read the prompts and figured out what books, or what prompts fit books that were on my TBR, and so the first book out of the 5 subjects that I chose is Divination, because this one says, Third Eye, assign numbers to your TBR and use a random number generator to pick your read. I did that, did it off screen, probably should have done it so I could include it right here, but oh well. So I did it, and I got lucky, because it was a book that I had actually in person, and so that ended up being Strange the Dreamer. I just love this cover, so shiny. Anyways, it's Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I have started reading it, because this one I read obviously on my own. I don't have to wait for my husband to get home at night. So I have started reading it already. It is so beautifully written. I'm so excited about it. So, this is my divination. It's making me go out of focus, because it just wants to focus on how pretty it is. So, divination. And having picked that by complete random actually helped me with my next subject, which is Care of Magical Creatures. Care of Magical Creatures says hippogriffs, a creature with a beak on the cover. Well, since I'm reading Strange the Dreamer, the sequel to Strange the Dreamer is Muse of Nightmares, and it has a giant bird on the cover. Birds have beaks. So that one is on its way with everything else. So for Care of Magical Creatures, I'll be reading Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. The next one is going to be Ancient Runes, which is the heart rune. It has to have a heart on the cover or in the title. And I have decided to read Heartless by Marissa Meyer. It's another one that's on its way. I just finished reading the Renegades trilogy by Marissa Meyer, and oh my goodness, the emotion that I felt when I read that book. I'm probably going to do a whole video on just my review of that trilogy, because it was just, it was amazing, and you need to read it. And I listened to it on Audible so I could read it while I drove, and the last bit of the 3rd book, just you shouldn't be driving while you're listening to that. So yes, Ancient Runes, Heartless by Marissa Meyer. And then I decided to go with Muggle Studies, which says a book from a perspective of a Muggle, basically any YA book that is not fantasy, just some sort of contemporary realistic fiction. So another book that I have coming to me is going to be Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I don't really know a whole lot. Again, I know that seems to be a reoccurring theme here, but I've heard that it's really super cute, and it's a quick read too, so I mean, hopefully, like I said, it still gets here before the end of April, but it may be one of the last ones I read just to wrap everything up. And then, to wrap up the career subjects that I have to take, History of Magic, Witch Hunts, we're studying Witch Hunts, which is a book featuring witches or wizards, and I can't do a Harry Potter thing without including a Harry Potter book, so for History of Magic, I'm reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. For whatever reason, this is the only copy, physical copy I own of the book, and it's the illustrated copy, so yay, I get to look at pretty pictures while I read it. Oh well, I mean, I have the like a Kindle version too, but I like physical if can help it. So, that covers it for my career subjects that I have to take, but like I said, I do want to take the Animagus lecture course as well, and so that's arithmancy, let me reread it, make sure, arithmancy, potions, and transfiguration. For arithmancy, the prompt says, magical qualities of the number 2, balances and opposites, read something outside your favorite genre. I don't have a favorite genre. I like fantasy, and I like historical, realistic fiction. Like, if there was a spectrum of types of books, I feel like those are, like, definitely at the ends. I guess, really, it's not necessarily the opposite of what I like, but more just a subject I don't like to read is, like, horror. So maybe if you guys have any suggestions as far as horror, and not like, oh my god, I'm not going to sleep at night horror, because I don't want to not sleep. But if you guys have any suggestions for that, otherwise I might have some trouble with doing arithmancy. For potions, it is Shrinking Solution, a book under 150 pages. I searched my shelves. I could not find a single book that was under 150 pages. And then I looked at my daughter's book. And most of hers that aren't like actual little children's books, even those aren't under 150 pages. She's got books that are 300 pages long, and she's 7 years old. Like, what? So, but I did. I found it on my Audible, and nobody said you couldn't do audiobooks, so I'm going to be listening to Tales of Beetle the Bard, and that will cover that recording. Then, for the last one is Transfiguration, Animagus Lecture, a book or series that includes shape-shifting. And you know what? Why not? We are discussing the 3rd year of Harry Potter, and you know what has the shape-shifting in it? Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Animagi, are shapeshifters. So here we go. I mean, I probably could figure out a way for every Harry Potter book to fit into some sort of subject and just read all 7 of them and be done, but that wouldn't be as much fun, would it? Alrighty, so that's going to wrap us up. That is my TBR for April. Wish me luck, because that's 10 books. We'll go 7. We'll go 7 with 3 for extra credit, right? Alrighty guys, so if you like this video, please remember to hit that big red subscribe button down there, as well as the thumbs up button and that notification bell so that you are notified every time that I upload. So, until next time, have a magical day. Bye!